Hello, and welcome to a Soulful Celebration. I am Andrea, and tonight I am fighting crimes against design and crimes against community. Our goal is the picture you just saw. We're going to color. I love coloring. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing. Six of us will be creating unique, meaningful, Afrocentric projects from cards to tags, mixed media spreads, 3D projects, projects for celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, retirements, new babies, holidays, you name it. That's what we're doing. I am going to be using the Magical Moment stamp. The reason I'm going to use this stamp is it shows these three children. They're all diverse, different backgrounds, and they're holding their presents. They look happy. They do not look stressed, and they are just being one, doing their part within the community. Why is this important? Why did I choose this stamp? Why was this the one out of all the other stamps that stood out to me? Well, it is because the children on this stamp are diverse, and I'm an artist, and I love art. And art is much more than just a pretty picture. It's about validation, it's about belonging, the power of being seen. As a teacher and a creator who fights crime against design, you know that design shapes how we perceive the world. Here and here's the why. For children, seeing a character who looks like them with their hair texture, their skin tone, their cultural features acts as a mirror. It confirms that they exist, that they are important, and that they are worthy of being a main character in a story. When a child never sees themselves on a TV screen, on a card, wherever, the message is that this space is not for you. I love Whitney Houston. The first time I saw her on TV, I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't understand then why I was so drawn to her. But I do understand now. It was because she looked like me. And seeing that as a young adult helped shape who I am today. Representation isn't just for children, it's for everyone. When diverse children are featured on cards, it teaches all children that the world is beautifully varied. It builds empathy and reduces the othering of people who look different, making diversity a natural celebrated part of everyday life rather than the exception. I am an Adobe community expert. As an expert, I know the power of imagery. By creating art that shows diverse children simply being kids, playing, crafting, celebrating, I help dismantle narrow stereotypes. I provide a window into different lives that highlight the shared humanity while honoring the unique heritage. A greeting card is a vessel for a positive message, like, I appreciate you. Happy birthday. When the message is paired with a diverse image, it creates a powerful psychological link between a child's identity and feelings of love and celebration. It says, your identity is your gift. Tonight, I am mixing Ohuhu Honolulu skin tone markers with Altenew markers because I'm a color rebel. That's what I know. I tag myself as. And as a color rebel, I know that one brand doesn't fit all. To get the magical moments of this stamp and the children right, I have to have the right tools for, sorry, I have to have the right tools, which are the right coloring tools for the job. This is how we're going to fight crime against design through inclusive coloring. As you see, I am using my Ohuhu markers. I'm using the skin tone markers, and I'm coloring out their faces. Now, all three of the tones are very different. For the young man that I'm coloring right now, I'm using more of a pink tones um, down to ivory. And then for um, the young lady, I have I have my little color sheet right here, and I will be including this in the description. Let me see. Okay, so for the um, young man, the tones that I'm using are warm, fair tones. So I'm using pink, pastel pink. Those are for Ohuhu, and Altenew would be cotton candy. And then for young, the Asian Hispanic girl, I'm going to be using golden tones, more like a yellow ochre, silk. Those are the colors in Ohuhu. If you have King art markers, then it would be like tans and sand. And then for the African American girl, I'm going to be using rich, deep tones, such as deep red, brick brown, leather. And then those are in Ohuhu, but then in Altenew, I'm going to be using espresso markers. Like I said, I'll list all of these. There'll be a supply list, and you guys will be able to see all of that that was used. So now you see I'm coloring the young. Um, we couldn't figure out whether I think she's Hispanic or she's Asian, but the young lady right here, you can see I've colored her skin. I've sped this up quite a bit because I didn't want you to bore you with the coloring. Coloring does take time, especially when you want to color it right. Um, and when I'm doing skin tones, I really, really love getting those to look as close to the person as possible. A lot of times I'll have a reference image in front of me so that I can reference it and I can see the tones, I can see how the light is hitting their skin. I don't always, sometimes when I'm uh, creating, I don't always look at like what direction the sun's coming in because sometimes I just want to create. As a graphic designer, I have to follow the rules and I have to look at the directions of the sun. I have to look at, how the shadow. I have to do like these. I forgot the word, but it's like shadow journals where I can see exactly what direction shadows are coming in. But when I'm crafting and card making, it's like a moment where I can throw all rules out the window. Like I can just be free, like if I want to have a pink giraffe, I can have a pink giraffe, or um and I love that. That's what I love about sitting down and just creating because I can really just let my imagination flow when it comes to art. But in this instance, I wanted to be as real as possible, but I still wasn't 100% worried about shadowing. All right, so in this one, as you can see now, I am into coloring the young lady's dress. I wanted red tones because of Christmas, and so I'm using these are let me get it. These are the red tones from the Altenew set called Red Sunset. In this set, there is blush, rouge, crimson, and velvet. And I pretty much stuck with sets as I was creating each outfit so that makes it easier, for you if you are following along or if you decide, hey, I want to get that same set that she's getting. Now you know what set it is, and so that makes it easier. Um, I'm not at the shoes yet, but just so you know, I use the set for all their shoes called Warm Grays from Altenew, and that's like Morning Frost, Evening Gray, Moon Rock, and Lava Rock. And then for the other dress, which I'm on right now, I use the set called Cherry Blossom. This is in the Altenew line as well. These are colors like Pink Diamond, Pinkalicious, Rubelite, Raspberry. Don't you just love the names of those colors? Like they make me smile. They're so happy. I just love it. And then for the gentleman, I went into it's a big set by Altenew called Tropical Garden. In the sets that I've been using before, they come in sets of 4. This one actually has a set of 12. Okay, but I'm using the oranges in that set for his outfit, and you'll see that in a moment. But the colors of that one are Sun-Kissed, Orange Cream, Autumn Blaze, Fire Brick, right? Yeah. But as you can see, I'm finishing up her dress. And you know what I'm thinking while I'm um designing? I wanted her dress to be a little bit different, but I still wanted her dress to be red. And that's why I went with the cherry blossom set for her. Now we are moving on to, one of the hard things is I'm left-handed. So what makes this hard is I am trying to, I block the camera view because I'm a lefty. I'm noticing a lot about doing these videos and with coloring. Um, so that's a interesting thing. I don't really, we used to have the camera over, well, this camera's overhead and well, it's over paper. It's not over my head, but it's over paper. And from the left, it didn't work out. From the right, it doesn't work out. I don't know what the exact angle. I think the exact angle would be to come in at an angle um, with the way that I color. I'm not sure if other people have the same issue, but I am noticing it with me. Um, it, yeah, because you're not able to see the whole process. But that's okay. Listen, it's all a work in progress. We're gonna we're gonna fix that eventually. I have a goal, and it's gonna happen. All right. Oh, also for his pants, I used a set of blues, and I used the grab it. Okay. I used the Cool Summer Night set, and that has colors like sea glass, ocean waves, dusk, and desert night in the Altenew line. That is what I'm coloring his pants with. And then with his shirt, I used a set of orange. Now, when I got to their hair, I used on him, I used, it's called Summer Afternoon, and I used 2 colors from that, which were buttercream and caramel toffee. And then for the ladies, the stamp was dark. I didn't have to use um, any color on theirs because that area had already been shaded by the stamp. But if I wanted to, I might have gone over it with like acrylic brown um, or these new or eco line. Might have gone over with that, but I didn't have to. But if I wanted to, I could have. That's kind of how I can color over the black. So I got a question for you. How do you choose your skin tone markers when you are coloring? You can answer that inside the comments down below and let me know. I'm very interested. Um, I love exploring new markers. Right now, I am exploring Econoline skin tones. They have waterproof and they do theirs with dye. So there's a water-based marker, but it's a dye. So that means it doesn't fade as much. So I'm gonna have fun with that. Um, but yeah, I love exploring, and if you tell me something, maybe you'll tell me something that I haven't tried before, and I'll explore it, which will be cool. Very cool. All right, let's see. Oh, now I'm going over with the shoes. And again, I think I told you guys I used the brown tones for that. Yep. Look at that picture. It's pretty much ready. Okay. So the next step, when I finish the picture, like I said, I saw that frame and I really wanted to use that Elizabeth Craft frame because I really just wanted to frame them up. And it's such an intricate Very pretty frame. Oh, right now I am doing my favorite part, which is the finisher. I always keep my stamp in my positioner, and then I finish with VersaFine, which I love it because it is a deep black ink. Look at that. Look at that picture. Um, so I love VersaFine. And I, at what they call it, like there's a risk that people always ask about, which is, aren't you scared that it's gonna move? Aren't you? And there have been a few times, yes, things have moved, and I just recolor it. You know what I mean? I love coloring anyway, so it's not a big deal. Um, but for the majority of the time, it doesn't. A lot of time, it doesn't. There's just every now and then something will happen. I'm pretty sure you there every single time. That makes it move. But I love that finisher. Look how dark and rich that is. It's just gorgeous. So I love doing it that way. Here I was trying to figure out what type of backing I wanted. I saw like the tones. I thought I wanted to bring out like that green or those brown tones, but in the end, I loved it um, with the gray tone. So that's what I colored it with. And that gray paper is paper by Stampin' Up. By the way, it's their specialty paper. Wonderful. Here I was trying to decide if I wanted to do silver for the backing, but I went with the gold tone. I went with the gray tone, but I went with the gold for the bow. I was like, oh yeah. And then I actually went with a black background. So it's going to be the black background, then the gray, beautiful gray frame, and then the image, and then the gold bow. And I just thought that that was a very classy combination. I really like that too because this is a classy look, right? It's a older style photo. So it's a classy look with this ornate, beautiful frame. And I just thought it works really well. So so I used it. It's awesome. That was the goal, guys. That was the goal. All right, so now you see I am gluing this a very unorthodox way, but this is kind of a cool way. So I took the backing from, the backing that you take off of the double-sided tape. I keep that, and then I can put things that are that intricate through, the glue, just put the glue on that, and then put various parts of the ornate frame on it, and then um and then I can just pat out whatever glue seeps out if it seeps out. But I have been doing this for about a few months and I really like it. I like the outcome each and every time. I'm always trying to look for easy ways. Of course, the easiest way would be to die cut with the double-sided tape and then you just peel it off. But when I forget, I have to go to other resources. So now I'm taking the double-sided tape off and the putting the image on the frame. I just love this is my part right here. Look at that. So pretty. Love it. So I also looked at various sentiments just to see which ones would work, but none of them worked for this. I probably should have went with 5x7, but it was just so pretty by itself um, that I didn't want it. So the sentiment on this card would go on the inside because I did not want to um, clutter up the front. And you'll see this pretty much takes up the entire A2 card. So if I wanted to put a sentiment with this one, I would have gone with an A7 card, but I really like it. I think it came out pretty cool. There's that bow. Look at that. So you can see it takes up a majority of the space. There was no room. There was no way to put a sentiment in there uh without cluttering that design. And I didn't want to do that, so um I went with no sentiment on the outside. And look at that frame. That is a cool frame. I just love this frame. Here I am scoring the paper, it's the card base. I'm scoring it so that it stays down. Well, that's not called scoring. I forgot what it was called. Shocker. All right, so there is the ribbon. I love that ribbon. I'm gonna have to use that more often. Um, And there's the original stamp. Look at that. And that's what I was toying with. The 26. I want to put the 2026 in there to represent now, right? It represents this time period. Um, that this is going on and that this is important. But it didn't work out. So um so there was no point in forcing it, which I tried to do in the beginning and I was like, yeah, no way. But I did find that Gina K has her master layouts and it fit almost everything. Her master layouts, I have them all, and there's usually something that fits everything whenever I have a issue and I'm looking for something. It just never fails. So that was kind of cool, but it just didn't work out with this one. So I wasn't able to do that. But here we are toward the end of the design. Um, you're gonna see I think I showed the circle too, yeah. So I wanted to initially that circle and that date were gonna be a part of it, but like I said, they didn't work out, they didn't make the cut, so they're not on the card. But um look, I'm trying to force it here. I'm trying to put it in there and I'm like, oh, maybe this, maybe that. Yeah, no, it wasn't gonna work. There was just no way. Do not try to cram something that's not gonna work. You and look, I'm a graphic designer and I was still trying to cram it in there. Yeah, no, it's not a thing. Sometimes you just gotta walk away and let it go. You know, sometimes you just gotta go. No matter how hard you worked on a project, no matter how wonderful you think it may be, sometimes you just gotta go. So here I am putting that tear and tape. I am really putting the finishing touches on the design. All that's left is to place the frame and then place the bow, and then the design is done. Look at that. I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Um, and I hope that you got something from it. Maybe you learned something new, maybe not. Or maybe you just enjoyed the diversity talk and learning about that. That would be cool too. But otherwise, here is the final design. Look at it. Just think they are darling. I am going to be using the stamp a lot. And look at that. And it's very diverse, which is very important. Hey, you are important, right? Our people are amazing. All people are amazing. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Ta-ta.